it will be available on the social media search YouTube channel. If you just go to YouTube and then type in social media search, I'll just show you that. Click on the social media search channel here, and you can see there's lots and lots of videos on here already. We post up everything that we do from a webinar perspective so that you can watch again and share with any of your colleagues. What am I going to cover off today? I'm going to give you an introduction to using X-ray searches. I'm going to show you some of the basic types of search that you can do using an X-ray search, how you can use an X-ray search to find different bits of information within websites, how you can run searches against some of our most popular social media sites using an X-ray search, and just talk about some examples that you might want to use it for. So what is an X-ray search? Well, an X-ray search is a method of searching, out with the search that's contained within a website itself. So lots and lots of different websites. I think our own does. Yeah, our own does. You can see there. Just where I've highlighted there at the right-hand side. Our own has got its own search functionality as well. But do you know what? Sometimes using the search function that's built into the website isn't the best way of searching. In fact, a lot of the time, it's not actually the best way of searching. When you use a search system or a search facility that's built into a website, then you're playing by that website's rule. You're not actually able to run maybe necessarily the type of search that you want to do. A perfect example of this is actually LinkedIn. We all use LinkedIn on a daily basis. We all use LinkedIn to search for candidates on a daily basis. However, do you know the best way of searching sometimes isn't to use the LinkedIn search, it's actually to search against LinkedIn from Google. And we can do that against LinkedIn and pretty much any other website that's got publicly available information, because Google or Bing, the two main search engines, or any other search engine, is actually indexing this information. It's capturing this information and then allowing us to use their type of search to then search against it. I use Google. It's what I've always used. It's what I always will use unless there's a dramatic change in search engine technology. I find it a lot easier to use, and I find the results are a little bit better. But there's nothing stopping you from using Google Guide, using other search engines as well. Now, I'm just going to talk about Google Guide for a second, which is why I accidentally said that instead of Bing. If you go to googleguide.com, okay, this is the website that you should be bookmarking for a lot of the types of search that we're going to cover off today. It is a little bit out of date. Some of the searches that are featured that Nancy's put onto Google Guide aren't necessarily the most up-to-date and aren't used anymore. However, I do recommend that you keep a hold of it. You've got a couple of sheets here as well, which are really good for attaching to your computer monitor, just as a little crib sheet. So highly recommend that you refer to this and use this as your guide. So what are the main, what's the purpose, first of all, of using an X-ray search? Well, an X-ray search for us as recruiters is to try and find either candidates or contact information for candidates by looking behind a website's normal front page. Okay, and it will be amazing the type of information you can find. And I'm just going to show you some examples of that as well. What's the main operators that we're going to use for running this? Well, the first one is site operator. Okay, just use Google for this as normal. You type in site and then you type in colon. Okay, as soon as I type in site and colon, then I'm actually going to that's me telling Google that I want to just search against that specific website. So you can see here there was an example yesterday. I was searching for a client, I was searching the Forester refrigerator website, and I was searching for a specific person. Okay, so I type in site, www. You don't need to put in the HTTP, don't do that, it won't work if you do it. One thing just to be aware of is that some sites though don't actually have the www in front of them. They don't require it, so just make sure that the website you're searching against, or just double check whether it needs a www or not. You can search against that and then type in the information that you want to find. So in this case, I was typing for information about a specific person, a chap called Paul Varied. I put that in speech marks because I only wanted Google to bring me back pages that contained his full name in that format. So that means it will exclude any other pages that just contain the word Paul or just contain the word Varied or contain both the words Paul and Varied but in different parts of the page. So I hit search from there. It's going to bring me to what looks like a normal Google search screen, and that's all it is. It's just a normal Google search screen. But what we can see here are sporting results on the page, okay, are from this search, and every single result is from the forresterrefrigerator.co.uk website, okay, and every search contains the phrase Paul Varied. So I can change that to anything I wanted. If I just wanted it to be managing director, okay, I can do that. And already, this is an example of how you could use an X-ray search to find the names of people within your target clients, or sorry, your target companies. So if you had Forrester Refrigerator was one of the companies that you were potentially taking candidates or approaching candidates from, then there wouldn't be anything stopping you typing in, okay, finance manager. I've got no idea whether this will work or not. Type that in and see what results come back. Now, there's no results that come back for finance manager. Okay, but what we can see there actually is I've got business development manager there as a phrase. So if I was to type business development manager, then that would identify people within the company, okay, with business development. So with the title Business Development Manager. So we could change Adams, okay, there. Now, why do we do this? And you might be thinking to yourself, well, all this information might be available on LinkedIn. Well, yeah, some of it might actually be available on LinkedIn, but some of it might not be, and some of it might not be available at the detail that you want. Please bear in mind that only 50% of the UK working population is on LinkedIn. That statistic varies country to country in terms of the percentage. In the US, it's a little bit more than 50%, and a lot of other countries, it's a lot less than 50%. So bear in mind that this is all about moving away from LinkedIn as a tool. LinkedIn, you should always be using it, but it's not the silver bullet. So you want to be using other websites to try and find information about people. So that's a really, really basic search. I'm going to use another example. I could search just to show you if I wanted to search against the BBC website. Okay, then if I wanted to find out information, say about Darren Fletcher, just picking a random name, so just watching football last night, and I can type site www.bbc.co.uk as I've just done, and then put in Darren Fletcher as the name. And we can see in the exact same way as the previous example, it's only going to bring me back results from the BBC website. Okay, I can take that a step further though, because I could actually say, okay, I only wanted to, there's loads and loads of sports information on there, but say I only wanted to find information about programmes in the BBC that have got information about Darren Fletcher within them. Well, the BBC website has got a subdirectory as part of its hierarchy, /programmes, and under /programmes, that brings back descriptions about the programmes that appear on the various channels. So what I could actually do, because I know that's part of the website structure, I could put in www.bbc.co.uk/programmes and then put in Darren Fletcher. Okay. You can see there, that's now only bringing me back details of the website. Now it's bringing back Sportlet for some reason. Now I can only imagine that there's maybe, I'm just going to check this page. Shouldn't normally do that. It's because it's a forward link onto, that's fine. So it is actually the URL, even though that only says sports there, the eventual page is a programs page. So that's fine. So I can do that with any website. I can type in the hierarchy in that way. Now the thing that I can't do is do an actual specific web page. So I can't do a search in that way. Again, the eventual page. Okay, so I couldn't because this is the eventual website. If I were to type that, then okay, then that's not going to give me any results. I don't think it will. Normally it doesn't. Let's just see. Might do, but probably not because it's a directory. You might get this error message up when you're running Google searches. Don't worry about it. Just type in what Google says. It's just normal, and it's because Google thinks you're a robot. It's actually still working in that. Normally what I would do in that case, though, is if I wanted to search a specific website, instead of doing site, a specific web page, instead of doing site, I would actually type in URL. I could do it that way. Okay. So how can we use this type of search then? Well, let's look at some examples. So we look at LinkedIn. Now, if I go to my LinkedIn page, just for example, okay, and I'm just going to go into my profile. In fact, I'm just going to pick a different profile for a change. I'm going to pick David. Pick on David here. I'm sure he won't mind. I don't think he's dialed in today. So what I can do is I can look at the information that's contained within David's page. Okay, and from that information I can start to figure out, okay, well, what kind of structure, how could I run an X-ray search against LinkedIn instead of actually using LinkedIn to run the search. 9 out of 10 profiles on LinkedIn are actually public. Because of public pages, that means that they are indexed by the search engines, and as soon as they're indexed by the search engines, then it means that we can run an X-ray search against them. The thing to remember, though, is that it is going to bring back a lot of false positives. Okay, if I just were to run, for example, a search against site uk.linkedin.com, okay, and then just typed in sales director without doing anything more to it, okay, then it's going to bring me back jobs pages, it's going to bring me back title pages, it's going to bring back some public profiles actually, that's fine, it's going to bring me back more jobs pages, because it's looking at all the information that's publicly indexed on LinkedIn. It's not just looking at the profiles. So what I need to do, and I'm just going to go back to LinkedIn for a second, is I need to think about the type of information that's contained within a profile page, and then how I can use that information to get rid of what we call those false positives, i.e. the information that we don't want to see. If I click on my profile just for a second, then I'll just show you some examples of this type of information. So as a start, all public profile pages on LinkedIn have got a URL that contains the word in or contains the word pub, P-U-B. Okay, so there is actually a search, as I said, just looking at the BBC example, there is an in-URL search on LinkedIn, sorry, a URL search on Google, which means that if I run a search that contains in URL, then all the results, it will only bring back results from pages that contain the specific word that I put in URL. So you can see there there's some examples there that I've done against the connect.data.com, searching for Adam Gordon or MD, for HR consultancy, for a few different bits of information there. But in this case, what I want to do is I want to say in URL, and then what I want to say is in, because I only want to bring back pages that have got the word in within the URL. Or, and I can use or by typing the vertical line, which is the key next to the Z button on your keyboard, press that using the shift key, and that'll bring up that vertical line. Give everybody a second just to look at the keyboard a second. I can then do in URL pub. Okay, that's great. So I now know that all the pages that come back are just going to be that type of page. I can then tell Google, okay, I only want you to bring me back pages from a certain geography, or I can say, okay, it doesn't matter about geography. In this case, I'm just going to do the UK, so I'm going to type in site, : now it doesn't matter the order that you put these into the search engine, okay, it doesn't, you can put site first or whatever you want, it doesn't actually matter. In this case, I'm going to use the UK. But there is a list of country codes available as well, so if I wanted to do France, for example, then I do FR. If I wanted to do Germany, I do CE. If I wanted to do Holland, then I do NL for the Netherlands. If I didn't want any country, then what I could do is actually put a star, an asterisk in there, and that means that it will bring back any results that have got any prefix to the .linkedin.com site. So I'll leave it like that at the moment. Now, what I also want to do though is get rid of some other false positives. So I just want to combine this in URL. There's a particular page that causes some problems. I'm going to send everyone this search anyway once I've ran it. There's a page, type of page within LinkedIn called dir, which I can get rid of by doing minus in URL dir. And we are noticing that more false pages are creeping in, so to the search results when they do this. So I'm just going to do a minus in URL, and I'm going to do jobs, and I'm going to do minus in URL jobs too. In fact, no, jobs should be enough actually. I'll just leave it in jobs, and then if it causes problems, I'll bring it up. And then once I've done that, then I can start putting in the information that I want. So say I was looking for a project manager who had Print 2 and who lived in Glasgow, then I can type in that information, and then for Glasgow, the best way of doing this, so that you're not getting any results back where the profile just contains the word Glasgow, i.e. they've previously worked in Glasgow, previously lived in Glasgow, have went to university in Glasgow, or indeed their name is Glasgow, which is, it comes up quite a lot, then you can do location, then star, then Glasgow as well. And that just takes advantage of the way that Google indexes the results. So I'm just going to copy that. I'm then going to hit search. Hope it works because I've written it from scratch. Okay, there we go. And that's brought me back 4,920 results. And what we can see there is that type of search has actually got rid of any results that aren't profile pages. So they're all profiles. Now, you don't need to be a member of LinkedIn to run this search. You don't need to be logged into LinkedIn to run this search. This is the beauty of an X-ray search. You don't have to be part of it. If any information is publicly available, then you're going to be able to run this type of search across any website. To prove that, then I'm just going to open up this profile. I'm going to right-click on it, and I'm going to click Open Link in Incognito window. And what this is going to do, it's going to show me this chap's profile. As I said, I'm not even logged into LinkedIn here, and I can still see that profile page. You can see that he's a project manager with Prince 2. Okay, I don't know where Glasgow is in this profile manager. Okay, oh, it's on the headline. Okay, so that's one of the most powerful X-ray searches. I'm going to just send that in through the chat just now. That's a template search. That's one that you could start to use and play about with yourself. Okay, so make sure that you keep a note of that and just fiddle about with it until your heart's content. So that's one type of search that we can actually do. What about some other searches that we wanted to do? So say let's go back to another example. I'm just going to close the 5 Live website and close Google Guide. So say there was a specific company that we wanted to search for go against. So say I wanted to find solicitors' websites, for example, and I want to try and find solicitors' websites where they've got a directory of their people, or that they've got a page on their website that has got contact information on it. Well, let's have a think about the type of search I could do there. I could use in URL, okay, and think about the type of pages that might, or the wording of pages that might contain contact information. So I could do, I'm just going to try in URL contact me, just for example, or contact us actually. I'm going to do an or here, and I'm going to do in URL contact -us. I'm then just going to do in URL solicitor as well. Okay, or sorry, solicitors, I'll do. And I'm just going to do in text, which is a search that lets you just search against the text of the website. And I'm just going to do in text, say it was leads, okay. So hopefully from the search, and this is one that I've done from scratch, so I'm just now going to run a search against the whole of the internet, or everything that's indexed by Google, to try and find pages that contain contact us within the URL, sorry, within the URL, just not see the error there, that might lead us to some contact information, in URL solicitors, and in text leads. So hopefully it might bring me back a solicitor's website in leads that's got contact information contained within the website. Okay, there we go, and it has done. So we've got Harrison Bundy, Jordan Solicitors, Parasandolo Solicitors, that kind of thing. So what else could we do? So that's just contact information. It's not really giving me any specifics about people. What other information can I think about? Well, let's change the language again. So what about meet the team? Okay, so let's try meet the team. And URL meet dash the dash team. And I'm just thinking about the way information might be contained within that website. Okay, I'm just going to hit return. Okay, and there we go. So I've got a website here called drivingsolicitors.com. If I open that up, then hopefully that's going to give me some contact information there. Okay, and there we go. So what I've got there is a list of their partners, drivingsolicitors.com's partners, their conveyancers, the offices that they work from. Okay. Lots and lots of different information there. Now, running that type of search, you're thinking to yourself, oh, I could probably find that information by just going to that website, but you might not be aware that there is a company called Graham Stowe Bates, and it might be a new area that you're working in, it might be an industry that you're not too aware of. So by running a very distinct and vague search like that, in URL meet the team, in URL meet the team, then that can quickly identify websites for people, for organisations that you're maybe not aware of. You know, you could change that to Glasgow, you know, that in Glasgow. And then you could change it for lots and lots of different things, in URL partner, in URL manager, in URL, that kind of, you know, lots and lots of different examples. So I'll send that search out. Okay. So that's one way that you could take advantage of it. What other things could we do though? There's lots and lots of information that's contained within websites. Let's have a think about job titles. So let's use an insurance example. So I might want to say I was searching for AIG against the AIG website. Say I wanted to try and find information about casualty underwriters within the AIG website, just for talking's sake. Spell casualty, then that would help. Okay, then I can do site www.aig.com, type in casualty underwriter, and see what kind of information actually comes up there. Okay, the first page here, let's have a look at that. Okay, you can see that's bringing me back a shift page for casualty underwriters, and it's giving me a pile of names there. Fantastic. Let's have a look at the other pages. Okay, infrastructure practice contact. What's cooking in the casualty underwriter's kitchen? I have no idea what that is. Just having a look to see. The profiles there of people. I'm just having a look to see what's contained here. And yeah, you get a list of infrastructure practice contact. Now that's Australia, but there's, you know, you could probably find that for the UK as well, or for the sector that you're working in. We've got email addresses, we've got direct line telephone numbers and mobile numbers. Fantastic. We have got an events page, a RIMS event in Denver, in Colorado. So there might be information contained there. Cool. This one downloaded a profile of someone, so let's open that Word document up. Just give it a second to load. Sorry, my laptop's a little bit slow today. Okay, great. We've actually found a full profile of it, something called Lance Ewing. Okay, so that's another type of information. And as soon as you find one bit of information, you find one profile, then the chances are that there's actually going to be more than one bit of information or more than one article of that type contained there as well. and that was that Graham Slovate's an example from last time. So this is a really good example of, by just running a quick search against job titles, the type of information that can actually be pulled out from a search. So have a think about the different types of information that might be contained within websites. That you could run a search, for example, for let's see, for seminars, for events. So you could think about, okay, it might be that it might do things like in URL delegates, in URL attendees, in URL attendee list. Okay, think about the document types as well, because I can run a search against, for example, the site www.aig, and then I can use the search file type of the operator file type, rather, and I can type in PDF. Okay, run search, and that's going to bring me back a list of all the PDFs that are contained against the AIG website, or that are contained within the AIG website. This is all publicly available information. You're not getting past any firewalls. There's nothing illegal about this. This is all really good information that you can find. You could find it against loads and loads of different websites. Think about email addresses. So you might be able to want to find an email address for someone, so you could do site www.aig.com. If you wanted to find, say, the email address format, then you could type in email **, for example, at aig.com. Okay. Yeah, for this actually you don't need to put in the site aig.com, but then what you can see there is it starts to bring back email addresses and starts to bring back email address formats. Okay. So there's tons and tons and tons of information available there by using X-ray searches. It is a case of playing about with it. I'll send you that email one just as an example. Find out the type of searches that work for you, find out the type of searches that don't. It's trial and error. There isn't any silver bullet with this kind of thing. But just try lots and lots of different searches. Make sure, as I said, you've got the Google Guide page to hand. Make sure that you've got our website to hand. Oops, just going to type that in again, googleguide.com. You can, of course, X-ray search the Google Guide website. Sorry, my keyboard is playing up today. Okay, and that will really help you out. Does anybody have any questions at all? That's just coming up now. As I said, the webinar will be available online. I'll get that uploaded this afternoon at some point and get it sent out to you. Any questions at all? Okay, there doesn't seem to be any questions, so I'll leave it at that just now. Thank you very, very much for dialing in this afternoon. I hope you enjoyed that, and I look forward to speaking to you again at a future agency, a future event, future webinar. Thank you very much indeed. Oh, hang on, I've got one question that's just come in there. Oh, no, it's just a thank you. No problem. Thanks a lot, Mark. Thanks for now, guys.